I'm still traumatized because, as we said before, with Josh, obviously 2022 couldn't have started worse. And, we have possibly, arguably, one of the most important matches every single season. It's not the most important one, but every single season, the match against Juventus has a very, very, very profound meaning. A very, very, very deep, want of revenge, because there's a big rivalry between Juventus and Roma. So unfortunately the defeat against Milan doesn't prepare the team the best way possible for this match, which, as you can see from today's title, I think, and this is obviously my opinion, but I think most Roma fans agree, that the match against Juventus is the last final potential Champions League call. If we were to win the match on Sunday against Juventus, then I still think it's gonna be very, very hard to get in a Champions League. But the hopes are still there. If we lose, goodbye Champions League. Even though the feeling right now, which is circulating around Trigoria, around Mourinho, around the players, it's not good enough. And, I seriously think, and I don't want to be negative here, but I do think that the defeat against AC Milan will influence, the boys for the match against Juventus in a negative note. Because, as I said before, Juventus is always a match which Roma wants to win. Just, forget about us needing to win the match because, we got to get back the momentum. Forget the fact that we have to win the match to try and keep a potential Champions League hope alive. We need to win that match to give a massive, massive, massive signal to the fans. Because Roma fans detest Juventus. Even if you present yourself in a match against Juventus, in a useless match. Just imagine this situation where Roma's playing Juventus in the last match of the season. Nothing counts anymore. The aggression still needs to be at maximum levels because it's still a match against the cheats of Italy. It's still a match. It's still a big match against one of our biggest rivals. So, excluding the whole, Serie A position place, which obviously will be a massive factor for the match against Juventus on Sunday, we have to try and win for the rivalry as well. Because if we lose yet another big match, the morale for the fans is going to drop. Because it cannot physically be possible that every single season we struggle this much in big matches. But preview for this match. To be honest with you, Juventus is not coming to Sunday's match in a great momentum as well. They drew against Napoli, who was infested by COVID. Napoli yesterday played with, it might, sound like a big team because Mertens was in it and because a few players were in it. But Napoli are in an absolute crisis of players. Koulibaly's they don't have Koulibaly for AFCON. Osimhen is injured. They've got 10 players who've got COVID. So obviously drawing against Napoli, who was infested by COVID and who was playing with 3 players who were, there was something going on that they had to play with a mask on, which was absolutely bollocks. Seeing the fact that Juventus had a full team and still didn't win that match, obviously I don't think Juventus is coming to the match on Sunday on a greater momentum than us. Because, Juventus, obviously, with Ronaldo's goodbye at the start of this season, things haven't been that great for them as well. I think it's a big match in a way, but it's 2 teams which everyone definitely expected more of throughout this season in a way. But I do think, if you compare the 2 teams, Juventus have got the squad depth which Roma don't have. I'm just going to give you an example of the bench, that Juventus had during Napoli and compare it with Roma's. Because, let me get Juventus yesterday sitting on their bench had Moise Kean, Kulusevski, Arthur Melo, ex-Barcelona player, and they have had Paulo Dybala, Bentancur, and they had De Gea. If you compare the substitutions with our team, you automatically lost the match. Now, plus, we have Mancini, who's had a red card. We had Karsdorp, who had a red card. And in fact, Maitland-Niles is set to start. And speaking about the entire Maitland-Niles deal, this is what happened in the last couple of hours. Literally, it happened 60 minutes ago. Exactly this happened. Let me get it on.
Qual è? Scusate. Grazie. Sì, grazie.
So, that is exactly what has happened in these last hours. Let me just pop the things back on. Maitland-Niles has landed in Rome. It's confirmed. It's basically confirmed that Ainsley Maitland-Niles will start on Sunday against Juventus. Now, this is something Josh said yesterday. We have a massive, and I mean a massive match ahead of us. Starting a player who barely had less than 24 hours to get to know the team, to understand the team. Mourinho already gave him a call when he was in London, saying and confirming that he would start on Sunday against Juventus. Maitland-Niles will be put on extreme pressure. And knowing Roma fans, if he doesn't play well on Sunday, they're already going to start criticizing him, which is absolutely wrong. Because if we were to lose on Sunday, how much do you bet? If you circulate around social media, you'll find so many comments blaming Maitland-Niles. He will be put on extreme pressure. And I'm not saying he won't play well, but obviously the pressure might condemn him in a way. I think Maitland-Niles starting, and if he does play well, could give Mourinho an alarm in his head. And the question is, do I now start Maitland-Niles or Karsdorp? Because if Karsdorp plays like he played yesterday, it's ridiculous. That red card he could have clearly and easily avoided. It's the mistakes which then end up in bad results. And these bad results then end up and condemn us more and more and more. I'm done with the match against AC Milan. We lost that match. I can't live out of one single match. We have an entire second half of the season to play. Yesterday's match was absolutely shit, but we have to move on and think about this about Sunday. Juventus is coming towards this match basically with a bonus, which Roma doesn't have, which we said before is the squad depth. Juventus is coming towards Sunday's match with players which Roma can absolutely dream about. Paulo Dybala and Federico Chiesa are two amazing talents. Dybala is not 100% fit. In fact, yesterday's match, he didn't start. That's a negative for us because it means he's got full energy to start on Sunday against us. Now, another thing is, Juventus this season, we expected more from them because I think, everyone had the image of Juventus under Cristiano Ronaldo. We expected more of Juventus. Fairly speaking, Juventus have not been that much better than us. So this is why, unlike AC Milan's match where, AC Milan were the favorites. If you look at the bookies, AC Milan were the favorites. I have a feeling if you look at the bookies right now, we will be the favorites for the match against Juventus. Because Juventus, yes, is the most winning, is the team who won the most in the Serie A, but this year, they haven't been much better than Roma. It's a very equal match, which Roma need to deal well with by not giving their opponents bloody goals. Because if we were concentrated in defense yesterday, the 3 goals we gave them could have been, evitable. If we repeat the same mistakes against Juventus, then what do we expect? Juventus beating us. But if we avoid those mistakes, if we play like Atalanta, then I think we are the favorites for that match. I'm just gonna confirm it. Let me get the bookies on for a sec, and I'll confirm it. Let's go on Roma against Juventus. No, I was wrong. Juventus are the favorites, but it's very, 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 very close. It's very close. I think it's a winnable match for AS Roma. I think to be honest with you, I think yesterday's match is a winnable match. But the approach to the match, the mistakes we gave them, and the fact that we could only score 1 goal with Kalulu and Gabbia in defense, it's things we gotta improve on. If we only scored 1 goal with Kalulu and Gabbia in defense, how many goals will we score with Chiellini and De Ligt in defense? It's a completely different match, but obviously we need to be ready for it, and we have to turn up to that match and forget about the match against AC Milan, because this is something extremely important. We need to forget about yesterday's match. And something which will influence Sunday's match is the players going, I lost to AC Milan. I'm scared now because I'm putting on I'm on a lot of pressure. If I repeat the same mistakes again, the fans will absolutely lynch me. It's important for Mourinho to do one thing in these days in preparation for the match against Juventus, which is making the players forget the match against AC Milan. It's happened. We lost. We played bad. It's over. We're not gonna face AC Milan anymore in this season. So we lost. We can't do anything about it. We had our chances. We killed our chances. Now it's over to Juventus. Obviously, we need to try not repeat the same mistakes, because if we repeat the same mistakes, then Juventus have the power and the talent to absolutely blow us up. The defense needs to be more concentrated. I expected more from the defense yesterday. Ibanez had an absolute nightmare yesterday, giving Giroud a goal. It's these errors which, made us lose yesterday. If we repeat these errors with Chiesa, Dybala, and, Morata in attack, then we will concede more goals. We need to be extremely careful. And I think, unlike AC Milan, Juventus is an opponent which, have surprised us in a negative way because we expected more from them. Second of all, they don't score much. Throughout the first half of the season, they won 10 times, they lost 5 times, and they scored only 28 goals. Roma scored about 38, 10 more. We can score more than them. This is a winnable match. I think if the approach is key, because if the approach is like yesterday's match, we'll lose. But I think on the we don't have a favorites for your Sunday's match. I think the bookies say Juventus are the favorites, but I genuinely think if we want to win, if we step up on the pitch with the desire and the aggression to get the 3 points, and wanting a reaction from the match against AC Milan, we can easily get it against an opponent which hasn't been that great this season. Predicted 11. Now, I do think we need a reaction from AC Milan, and that's exactly why I think if the strongest lineup has to be there. Obviously, we have some exceptions, because Karsdorp has a red card, Mancini has a red card. Rui Patricio will start. He saved a penalty yesterday. It was a useless penalty to save, but at least he saved it, and he demonstrated us that he can save penalties. So Rui Patricio starting. Chiellini's back from COVID, by the way, so he's back for the match. Something I want to say is, I'm not sure if we need to play with 4 defenders or 3 defenders at the back. Because one thing is, 4 defenders puts you in a more secure spot. but 3 defenders gives more balance. And for a team against Juventus, which doesn't score much, I think Mourinho will end up with 3 defenders, which will be Smalling in the middle, Ibanez, and you see, I do think we can see Cristante in defense, and we can see. This is hard to call. It's extremely hard to call. I invite you to play along with me in the live chat. Because the fact that Mancini has a red card could mean that Cristante could play in defense. And there are pros and cons. Kumbula might be better because he's more experienced in the position as a centre-back. But Cristante is more experienced in big matches. And I do think, Kumbula's extremely so. I'm not saying Cristante is any faster. But, I still have that Bodo Glimt image of Kumbula in my head, and it frightens me every single day. You know what? I think Cristante will play at the back. I think we'll have Rui Patricio in goal, Smalling, Ibanez, and Cristante at the back. And then we'll have Veretout in the middle. Veretout in the middle. He's not on great form, and he needs to absolutely, he needs to be. Veretout against Fonseca was completely different. He needs to just re-become that player, because it can bring a lot of help. Then my 4 midfielders will be Vigna, Pellegrini, Mkhitaryan, and Maitland-Niles. Maitland-Niles will start. Maitland-Niles will start. So I think Vigna, Pellegrini, Mkhitaryan. But another question is, Mkhitaryan is on absolutely appalling form. So maybe do you put Bove in? Mourinho is capable enough to surprise us in these ways. So you know what? I'm gonna surprise you guys. I don't think Mkhitaryan will start. Because I think against Juventus, quick passes is key. And Mkhitaryan has the experience which young players don't have. But Bove, for example, is way quicker on the ball. So I'm going to put Vigna, Pellegrini, Bove, either Bove or Carles Perez, and Maitland-Niles on the right hand side, and Tammy Abraham and Zaniolo up front. I physically. Oh no. Right, I forgot about this. El Shaarawy. So let's have a recap. Rui Patricio in goal, Ibanez, Smalling, and Cristante in the middle. Veretout as a defensive midfielder. Vigna, Pellegrini, Zaniolo, and Maitland-Niles, and El Shaarawy and Abraham up front. There you go. Zaniolo will play backwards and will take Mkhitaryan's spot, because Mkhitaryan is on appalling form. Once again, I'm not saying Zaniolo is on a better form, but I do think Zaniolo is better than Mkhitaryan. So, and then we'll have Tammy and El Shaarawy up front. I think this lineup has a good balance between defenders and attack, which is absolutely key. Because once again, if we're scared to play against Juventus, we're gonna lose the match. And that's 100%, facts. If we play like yesterday, where the first 20 minutes were literally, oh my god, Giroud sounds like absolute god. Forget it. You're gonna lose the match. We need to step on that pitch with the same mentality as we had against Atalanta. It's so difficult to repeat matches, but we have to. So, yeah, I think that will be our lineup. I think Maitland-Niles' debut, imagine if he scores. Imagine if Maitland-Niles scores the winner against Juventus in his debut. Maitland-Niles will indeed play. So that's my lineup. Right, let's read some comments. What the hell happened yesterday? I have no clue. The ref got a 1-week suspension. Good evening, short haircut blog. I've never been so frustrated watching a player like I have with Zaniolo. My goodness. Why is it so hard for him to just try and earn an honest goal instead of always playing for a foul? A very winnable game. I totally agree with Beruz Harulev. After watching the game again, I'm still baffled by Tammy's decision to randomly stick out his arm like that. Absolutely madness, and to think 10 minutes later Ibanez makes another goal. I've rewatched that penalty, and to be honest with you, I might be biased here. I might be a Roma fan who has a Roma channel. That is never an absolute penalty. I don't see the ball hitting his arm. I see the ball hitting his shoulder, which is different. I don't think that was a penalty. And I think if you're giving Leao the penalty with what's it called? Because the guy pulled the shirt. Then look at Tonali pulling Zaniolo's shirt. I think there were errors from the referee, but I'm not blaming the referees, because I think we still played an absolute shitty match. Over time, we'll learn and become a good overall player, though. Spina will make a massive difference in attack, and when Spinazzola is back, Viña can get back to Brazil. Totally agree with you. Will be like a new signing. Viña was getting ripped to shreds all game. Viña's not good enough. Viña is not Serie A level. I'm sorry. Once again, I have nothing against Viña, but he is not good enough. And I'm reading a comment. I would put Stefan El Shaarawy as the wing back instead of Viña. I would do that as well. But El Shaarawy can't defend. I'm not saying Viña can, but Viña can give him a sense of defense more than El Shaarawy. I want Dombele. I hope we sign Sergio Oliveira. It's done, mate. Michael Cabral, it's basically done. It's basically done. He's set to come to Rome in the next couple of days. I would play Shomurodov. I would not. Shomurodov is not good enough. Niles will bring something different to this team. Zaniolo needs to be replaced with Perez. Stefan needs to replace Viña. No speed or creativity. Jordan out. Cristante in. The problem with substituting El Shaarawy and Viña is that without Viña, it's like playing with one less defender. Because, both of them don't defend. But, I understand what I mean. You know what? I'm going to change it. Because I think El Shaarawy deserves it more than Viña. Because Viña is woeful. So I agree with you guys. So recapping the predicted 11. Rui Patricio, Smalling, Mancini and Cristante at the back. Very two defensive midfielder. El Shaarawy, Pellegrini, Zaniolo and Maitland-Niles on the right-hand side. And Abraham and... what's his name again? Abraham and... Oh yeah, that means obviously that we need another player. Because I was putting El Shaarawy up there. And Cortez Perez. A very offensive lineup. But obviously we got to think about scoring as well. So, you know what? That's it. Ladies and gentlemen... Mourinho's press conference reaction tomorrow. We've got matches over matches. Milan yesterday, Juventus in 2 days. And then on Sunday, set reminder, live watch along against Juventus. Last call of the Champions League. I still think it's extremely hard to get in it. But the rivalry is big between Roma and Juventus. Let's get the win either way. And happy days. Subscribe if you're new. Road to 2,000 subscribers. So please subscribe, share a link with your families and friends. Like this live stream as soon as it becomes a video. Like it now as well. And follow me on Instagram at _the Simon Show. And yeah, I'll catch you tomorrow. Simon out.